Hey, what's up, locker room? I wanted to jump in here and just chat because I saw the end of that trial and everything with Stefon Diggs, and I guess her name is Mila, the lady that's uh showing him that used to be his friend, his lover, and his cook. And wow, after seeing all of the testimony, it's wild. I mean, a WOW. I mean, boy, did she look bad on that witness stand. And I kind of talked about this on the live and everything. What I'm confused by is everything in that trial sound like it was a civil trial. A civil trial, then you can look at Mila and say, what the hell? You know, I saw where they were asking her, did she know that her attorneys were asking for $5.5 million. And she was like trying to claim attorney-client privilege. Like, that's not anything to claim attorney-client privilege when you propose or ask someone else for $5.5 million. We're beyond attorney-client privilege, and man, she just looks. They didn't prepare her. And I think a lot of people think this is a civil case. The confusing part is this is a prosecution. This is a criminal case. I don't know how we get a criminal case out of this. That means what? Let me tell you something. You can bring a civil lawsuit up against anybody, and there's really, you don't have any proof before you get to a civil lawsuit. That proof and everything will be played out in court. But when you have a criminal filing against you, and trust me, unfortunately, I know, but when you have a criminal filing against you, that means that had to be investigated by the police to bring these charges. The police brought these charges, not her. This is not a civil lawsuit. This was a criminal case. That's even that blows my mind more than even the civil case. Because how the hell did the police say they investigated this? And then they put her on the stands like that, knowing that was going to get ripped up like that? And this thing went all the way to trial? Like, you didn't go to Stefon and say, listen, we got nothing here. We certainly don't want to put her on the stands. Let us give you a misdemeanor and we can save the taxpayers money and you just go on about your business. Because this looks bad. This is what the hell is going on? Do you guys understand this is not a civil lawsuit? This was a criminal filing. A municipality stood up and said they have enough evidence to find him to move forward with the trial, and this is that trial. Everybody's talking about, and I hear people saying, well, he offered $100K, she should have taken that and ran. There's so much more to this than that. And here again, I know he could have offered her $100K, and she could have said, yeah, I'll take that and run. But the police still could have said, we're prosecuting anyway. We're going to move forward. Now, it's hard to move forward without a witness, without somebody, a victim. But this is mind blowing, man. You can't even this lady. You can't even be crazy mad at her because more people in the system that knows the system more allowed her to do this, and that's who you should be mad at. Like, what the hell are they doing? Now, what I do want to say too, and I think it's very important to say is, because this was a criminal assault case and not a criminal sexual assault case, you that changes everything. That's why you're seeing her on the stands right now. If this was a sexual assault case, you wouldn't know her name. And they would be protecting her. She would be Jane Doe. Jane Doe. If it was a sexual assault case. But a criminal, assault case, assault battery case, doesn't afford the same protection to the alleged victim. So now she has to be exposed and she has to come out and tell her side of the story. And her side of the story, it's not a good side. You know, court, we always think, and I thought too, in my first trial, you go in thinking this thing's about truth. I learned real quick. This thing is about how they get your story and who can convince the jury of they'll take elements from what happened and they're going to put it in their own story. And if they know how to write well, speak well, move well, convincingly, they can take the elements you give them, put it in their story, and make you as guilty as you need to be. They're good like that. The best prosecutors are people that know how to convince or confuse. They convince the jury or they confuse the jury, but they have your ass when they get to that jury. And there's no way with her testimony and the way she was on the stands and the way it came across, her combativeness with the lawyer that's asking her questions, it reeks. It reeks. And my thing is, are you shitting me? Did the police it didn't reek under their nostrils? When you were taking this case down, when you were looking into this, they should have reeked under your nostrils unless you were monomaniacal and singularly focused on, I'm going to get me a football player. I don't know. And I don't want you after me, but I'm just saying the reality. That seems so funny. Seems crazy. Now, it's everywhere, so I had to address it. And even reading the comments, you know what? Let me tell you something. What trips me out? You go through the comments, right? Some guy say, why don't you just leave girls alone? Like, shut up. Stop saying stupid shit. Stop saying stupid stuff, because nobody's going to leave girls alone. He's not going to leave girls alone. And he shouldn't leave girls alone. And I just because you run into one bad person or two bad persons or three bad people, don't kill you, don't end your life and say, I ain't messing with I ain't talking to nobody, I ain't doing nothing. Bad people are everywhere. And you're a bad person for even saying all that dumb shit. You know what I mean? Why don't you, please, man. And let me tell you what I know, because I've been through this. I did a lot of that too. Michael, why don't y'all just stop talking to people or leave people? Don't do this, don't do that. Okay. Usually, that's some fat ass dude that ain't got no opportunity to do nothing, sitting back holding up like he's the strongest person in the world. I hadn't talked to a woman in the last 20 years because ain't nobody want to talk to you. Of course you ain't talked to no woman in the last 20 years. And it's easy for you to say no because you ain't got no opportunity to say yes to. So then you hide under, man, I'm stronger than this. No, you ain't stronger than this. You are lonelier because you don't have opportunity. It ain't that you wouldn't take it. It ain't that you're not prepared to take it. I don't care how prepared you are to get a piece, you gotta have some opportunity to get the piece, and your fat ass can't get that opportunity, so then you sit back and be judgmental, not from a place of understanding where you say, "Man, I done been right there, man. I had to work on just staying away from all of that and focusing on what I wanna do." No, you come in judgmental like, "Why can't you just stay away from everybody?" Like you can stay away from everybody. Everybody, you ain't staying away from everybody. Everybody's staying away from your fat ass. So shut up. Shut up. God almighty. God almighty. You kill me with that. Just make this. You want to write a comment, say, man, it looks like this was a big lie. You can say that and just leave it. You don't have to perpetuate your mess on people and try to uh, put them down like, oh man, why you got all these girls? Because he's a good looking young, very affluent young man. Of course they're coming. And tricksters come in that too. Trust me. Again, I say this. Unfortunately, I know. I just want to watch some NBA basketball. Let's get this stuff out the way. But know this one thing here. Know this one thing. This is what I think needs to be happening when, people throw out these accusations. Because if the right people question them, the lie will clearly protrude forward and come out. That's why in most of the situations, most of the cases, they never reveal who Jane Doe is. And they'll never let you talk to Jane Doe because they know any investigation or real conversation from an investigator, most of those stories will have more holes in them than Swiss cheese. More holes than Swiss cheese after a bucket full of rats in it. You see what I'm saying? It'll be because those guys are experienced investigators and they know how to ask you the same question two different ways and you'll give two different answers, which means you're lying. They know how to do that. And we should start making sure you take people through that kind of questioning before you allow them to get out here and try to ruin someone's life because they no longer hold this person sexually or have this person under their, you know what I mean? It's just sad to see it. It's sad to see. I don't know what happened between Neela and Stefon. I don't know what arrangements they had, but it looked like she came in saying he owed me some back pay. Back pay. And she called it back wages. Back wages. She explained it a couple of times, like, what do you mean back wages? Wages that he owed that he didn't pay you from before, or wages that he needs to give you for hitting you in the back. Hidden, you know what I'm saying. I thought they were making a little fun about that in the courtroom. But to sit up and say you didn't know your lawyer was asking for $5.5 million, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And all I can say is, wow. Wow. This is good for all women and all people to see. If they just make sure that, hey, if it's true, you withstand these kinds of interrogations and investigations. You sit there, you answer the investigator. You're not doing it in front of us. Do it in front of the investigator. He'll tell you, he come back and say, what he believes. Then you could prevent this. Women, I'm telling you, you see this, that it's real on that stand. And you got to be careful letting some slick lawyer come in and talk to you about doing these things because he's not going to be the one on that stance when it comes nut cutting time. It's going to be you. I'm just saying. And if anybody has done you wrong, go to the police and do the right thing. But if you're doing somebody wrong, yeah, that's a different thing. You got to be careful, you know, because if somebody calls you to the mat on it, you don't want to end up looking like this. And this is going to follow her everywhere. So now, how do you get another job as a chef? See what I'm saying? How do you get another job as a chef after what you did in this public space? You know, yeah. I want to get back to watching this Knicks game. This Knicks 76ers. Knicks up. Knicks were only up by 1 point, 18-17, when I had to flip and do this. So now I'm going to go back to the game and then try to get to McAllen. I'm in the airport right now. I have an appearance in McAllen, but they put us on the airplane. They took us off the airplane, and I don't know what's going to happen. My time is dwindling down, and I should have been there already. So we'll see if I get to go home or I got to be over there. All right, locker room. Stefon Diggs, I'm glad you got acquitted of this mess. You know, and even in comments here, people said, "Oh, he did it. He just has money to get off it." It blows my mind. I mean, there's a why do we have the system that we have? If everybody just has their opinion, and no matter what, whenever the judge and everybody says, "Well, you're acquitted," everybody still makes him guilty. It's amazing to me. I know I went through it. I saw it. I know how it goes down. I'm praying for all sides in that situation. I'm praying certainly for my boy Diggs and hopefully he can get past it mentally. And I'm praying for Mila, for the chef, hoping she can get past it mentally because this going to lead from PTSD. I guarantee that. I guarantee that. For the rest of her days, at least for the early foreseeable future, she's going to be looking at people wondering how they're looking at her. Because it's the fame that you did not want. And now everybody's going to be calling you all of those gold digger names, all those old crazy names. You try to get back, you try to take somebody back, you try to go the easy route. And let me just tell you guys this. They did a study. And this was wrong with America, period. They did a study. They asked people, what's the best way to get rich in America? You know what the top two places was? Top two ways that they came up? They said, suing somebody and winning the lottery. Suing and winning the lottery. Suing. Because that's the easiest. You know how difficult it is to win the damn lottery. I'm just saying. Scary times that we are in right now. I saw Diggs crying in court because the emotions of it. And you understand, this was not just about money. This was about taking my freedom. This was a criminal case. They showed the pictures of her the next day or the pictures of her on a dash cam right after the incident and no marks. And they talked about there was no marks on you. You didn't look like you've been disheveled or hurt. It's amazing. It's amazing. And I don't know what Stefon Diggs paid his lawyers, but they did a great job. They did a great job. If that don't scare some people from lying right there, oof, I would hate to be on that stance and be marked like that for the rest of my life. with that kind of situation. Mm, Prayers for everybody. And let me just thank God for covering me.